If you are looking for a comprehensive way to get more height for off-roading or to fit larger wheels and tires at a more budget-friendly price, you're going to want to check out this lift kit from Rough Country. This is a bolt-on, all-inclusive lift kit that's going to get you 3 inches of extra height and level out the stance of your truck while maintaining good ride quality and road manners. And it's also going to give you some additional off-road capability. Now, before we dive in, a quick note on fitment. This is designed to fit 2015 to 2020 4-wheel drive F-150 Super Cab and Super Cruise, excluding Raptor models. Now there's a lot we have to cover here, so let's start with the one thing you all want to know: how much tire can you fit? This is again a 3-inch overall lift, so it's going to provide you enough clearance to run most 34-inch tires without issue. However, as you push closer to larger 34-inch or even 35-inch tires, you might encounter some rubbing and need to do some minor trimming. So for that reason, we recommend sticking with 33s or smaller diameter 34s for this kit. Now to achieve that lift, you've got a lot of components. Starting out up front, you get a set of Rough Country's heavy-duty upper control arms. These are forged aluminum arms, and they include new Cleveite rubber bushings and ball joints, so they're going to provide excellent absorption of road impacts. And since they're aluminum, they are pretty lightweight, but they have a lot of structural integrity, enough to hold up to pretty much whatever abuse you can think to throw at them. Now you might have noticed too, the other key feature of these is that the ball joints are angled to accommodate for the lift. So despite adding quite a bit of height with this kit, these will keep things pretty close to your factory suspension and steering geometry. It's going to help maintain that factory style ride quality and give you full range of motion, so you can take advantage of that additional height. Plus, this kit in particular gives them a cool red finish over top, so they'll be a little bit more protected against rust and corrosion, and they'll look cool too. To actually get you that 3 inches of lift, up front you've got a set of Rough Country's premium N3 struts. Now these are going to combine with the control arms and give you that 3 inches of lift, and as you can see, these come pre-assembled, so there's no need to mess with the spring compressor or anything like that. You can just bolt these right on. The shocks here are nitrogen charged and feature infinitely variable damping, so you're going to get a smooth, almost stock ride quality, but they are also designed specifically for lifted applications. The damping here is tuned to keep the ride smooth out on the road while still doing a good job of absorbing impacts and controlling rebound out on the trail. That nitrogen charging also helps with heat dissipation too, so even under aggressive off-roading or something like a washboard type of road, these aren't going to suffer from fade. So again, you can use them to their full extent without worrying about them fading or losing control of your truck. In the rear, we have a standard type of block lift with new U-bolts to keep everything secured and accommodate that additional height. Now these are going to give you about a 2-inch lift overall in the rear, meaning that this will also function as a leveling kit, so it will even out the stance of your truck. You get a little bit more for the front end, a little bit less for the rear. It's going to sit nice and level, and it's going to eliminate the rake that these trucks come with from the factory. You also get a set of Rough Country's N3 premium shocks in the back to keep everything in check and maintain good ride quality. Like the front struts, these are nitrogen charged. They feature that infinitely variable damping, so it's going to give you that smooth, almost stock ride quality. You've got a nice set of shocks, matched both front and rear. Construction here is all quite solid. As I mentioned, the control arms up front are made from forged aluminum for strength and weight savings. There's no seams or welds to break on these, so you can be sure they're very strong. The front struts and the rear shocks have this massive 1 3/8 inch bore and a hardened chromed piston rod, so they're going to stand up to the elements quite well too. The bodies are finished in this nice silver powder coat for some good looks and additional durability. Out back, you'll also find those new U-bolts and these composite lift blocks. So these are going to avoid the issues that you find with a fabricated or steel lift block. These aren't going to rust, they're not going to corrode, and there's no welds to break. These are all one solid piece. Plus, they don't weigh a whole heck of a lot either, so you're not adding a ton of weight to your truck. The struts also come with brand new top hats ready to mount and new rubber bushings on the bottom. Likewise with the rear shocks too, you've got brand new rubber bushings top and bottom, so this is going to be a really nice suspension refresh for you. Pricing for this kit comes in at about $1,100, and for all you're getting here, that is a really competitive price. Now, of course, there are less expensive options out there that still get you the height, but these won't have all the features like the shocks and the control arms. You could also spend more on another kit, but for a truck that's going to see mixed street and trail usage, this is an excellent option that won't cost you a ton of money. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter and expected to take you upwards of 5 hours to complete this job. And it may look like a lot too, there is quite a bit to get done, but this is definitely a job you can accomplish at home. This is all designed to bolt right onto your truck with no permanent modifications needed. All the hardware you need is included in the kit too, so it makes it about as easy a job as this can get. However, as I always say with lift kits, make sure once you've got this done, you book your truck in for a professional alignment, get everything aligned properly so it drives nice and true down the road. We're going to walk you through the install process step by step right now though, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you will need a pry bar, a large hammer, or a ball joint service tool. various impacts, a swivel adapter, 3/8 a ½ inch adapter if necessary, 8, 10, 15, 18, 19, 21, and 22 millimeter sockets, a bungee cord, 15, 18, and 21 millimeter wrenches, and also not shown here is a pole jack and a jack and jack stands. All right, today we're going to be installing a lift kit on our F-150, so let's get started. All right, so we've got the truck in the air, we've got the wheels off. The first thing we're going to do is remove our tie rod from our knuckle. We've got our 21 millimeter socket on our impact. I'm going to remove this nut. Now we'll leave it on a couple threads to catch it because we're going to have to separate it. Now to separate this, you can use a ball joint removal tool, or if you don't have that, you can grab a hammer and you can give it some slight taps on the knuckle or see if it'll just gently come out like so. Once it's unseated, we'll remove the nut fully. Pop this out. We'll just put that nut right back on there. Just keep track of it. Next, what we're going to do is remove our ABS and brake line brackets from our knuckle and the frame bracket up here. This is going to prevent excess tension from our lines when we separate our knuckle from our upper control arm. So we've got our 8 millimeter socket for our ABS line, and then we'll use our 10 millimeter sockets for our two 10 millimeter bolts holding those brackets in. Now we'll grab our 10 mil socket, that one out, as well as this one. Now we're going to remove our sway bar end link nut going through our lower control arm. So we've got our 18 millimeter socket. Pop that off. Next, we're going to remove our two lower strut mounting nuts. Now doing this at home from the factory, you should have studs going through your strut with 18 millimeter nuts. However, due to many previous installs, ours have been pressed out, so we have through bolts. So we're going to use our 21 millimeter wrench and our 22 millimeter socket. Get our other one out as well. Now we're going to need to separate our upper ball joint from our knuckle. Before we do that, we're going to grab a bungee cord and wrap it around the top of our knuckle. That's going to prevent this from coming down and causing excess tension on our axle and pulling that out. We don't want that. So want to make sure you're not going to pinch any lines hooking this in. That'll be there to catch it. Then we're going to use our 18 millimeter socket and swivel adapter to get our nut off. And just like with our tie rod, we're going to leave this on a few threads. Sometimes you get lucky and that pops right out. Now we can fully remove our nut and lay our knuckle to the side. Now if it is under a little bit of tension, you can grab an 18 millimeter ratcheting wrench. Don't want to let it fall freely. And now we have our nut loose. As you can see, our control arm is popped up. Just going to push this up, let our knuckle rest to the side. Now we're going to loosen up and remove our 3 upper strut mounting nuts, and we're going to grab our 15 millimeter ratcheting wrench to do that. Now once you get this last one all the way out, we're going to support our strut, remove that, and then we can pull our strut out. And we'll lift up on our strut, get our nut off, and remove our strut. Now once you got this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now that we have our strut out, we can remove our upper control arm that is held in by two 18 millimeter bolts with 21 millimeter nuts. So I've got my 18 millimeter socket with a swivel and a 21 millimeter wrench. I'm going to get in there, remove both the nuts from the bolts, and I can support my control arm, pull the bolts out, and remove it. And once you got this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now we're going to install our new upper control arm. We've got our passenger side, and we're going to get that in place. Now these may be a little bit stiff at first. What we want to do is line up one of our holes, doesn't matter which one. We're going to get our factory bolt through that hole enough to make it a pivot to get the other side lined up. So we got that through. Now we'll get our other bolt in place. May have to fiddle with this one. And we'll get our 21 millimeter nuts loosely in place. Now we can get our new strut in place. We're going to get this in and line up our upper mounting studs, and we'll get our upper mounting nuts on. Now we're going to get our bottom mounting point in position. Now this might be a little bit stubborn. You want to be very careful of your axle boot. We're going to push this into position. So next we're going to grab our provided mounting hardware for the bottom. So we've got our bolt flat washer. We're going to drop one in through the top. You may need to pivot this bottom perch. It does come pretty flat, and these control arm mounts are at a bit of an angle. So we'll show you how to do that. We're going to get one lined up first. Get that as far as we can. What I like to do is grab a longer 3/8 extension. We'll put it through this other bolt hole, just enough to get it through. And what you can do is just pull a little bit on it until that first bolt drops all the way down. And that'll help you get this one lined up for the most part. Now that we've got our bolts through, we're going to add in our flat washer and our provided lock nut to each of these. We're going to grab our 18mm wrench for our bolt head and our 19mm socket for our nut. Tighten the other one down as well. Next, we're going to tighten down our 3 upper mounting nuts for our strut. So we've got our 15mm ratcheting wrench, and we'll tighten these down. So now we're going to get our new upper control arm ball joint into our knuckle. We've got our bungee cord removed, swung our knuckle back over. Lift up on this. Get our ball joint lined up. You may have to move this around a little bit. Once you get it lined up, you want to grab your supplied flange nut. Get that on. Then we'll grab our 18mm socket with a swivel to tighten this back down. Now we'll get our tie rod back in, line this back up, get our 21mm nut back in place. We'll grab our 21mm socket to tighten this back down. Next we're going to reinstall our 18mm nut for our sway bar link. Get that in, use our 18mm socket and tighten this down. Next, we're going to reinstall our brake line, hose, and ABS brackets. So we've got our 10mm socket for our brake line and hose, and then our 8mm socket for our ABS bracket. Get this lined up. Brake hose bracket in, followed by our ABS bracket. Now we can tighten down our control arm bolts. So we've got our 18mm wrench for our bolt head and our 21mm ratchet wrench for our nut. Then you can do the same thing for your other bolt. All right, moving on to the rear, we're going to be removing our rear shocks. Now for the bottom mounting bolt, we're going to need our 18mm socket and 15mm wrench. Then up top, the way the bolts face, we'll need our 15mm socket and 18mm wrench. So we've got a pole jack underneath to help support our weight of our rear. We'll get these bolts out and get our shock off. So we're going to remove the nut from our bottom bolt. We'll keep this bolt in. We'll take our top one off. Again, for this top one, you want your 18mm wrench, 15mm socket. Now we'll support our shock and pull our bottom bolt. We can pull our top one and remove our shock. Now that you got this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now that we've got our shock out, we're also going to be removing our U-bolts and our factory block. So we're going to put our pole jacks under each side. We've also got one under our yoke on our differential. This is going to help keep your pinion angle where you want it. So we're going to remove the 4 21mm nuts off of our U-bolts with our 21mm socket. We've got the other side loose, so it still has a cage around it, but we can work on the one side. So we'll get this side situated, and then you want to do the same thing on the other side. So we'll get these off. So we're going to remove our cradle. We can remove our factory U-bolts. Now we can lower our differential down. Pull our factory block out. All right, so now that you have your U-bolts and your block out, you want to lower the side you're working on down far enough to get your new block in place. We're going to line up our dowels like so. And we're going to bring our differential up. We're going to get it close. Then we can install our new U-bolts with our factory cradle and our new nuts. So we'll grab those now. So we'll drop in our new U-bolts. You want them to line up with that factory cradle position. And we're going to reuse our factory cradle. Get that on. And we're going to grab our supplied flat washers and lock nuts. We'll get those in place. We'll get one on the other U-bolt. Then we'll install our other two. Now that we have this cage, we can bring this up and line up our dowels on our leaf springs. And once you get to this point, you want to do the same thing for the other side. Then we'll come back and tighten everything down and install our shocks. Now that we have both sides in place, we're going to tighten down our U-bolts. You want to tighten these as evenly as possible, so you want to alternate once they get to about where the differential is. We're going to use our 22mm socket to do so. You might have to hold your U-bolts in place. And once you got these four tight, you can do the same thing for the other side. Then we'll come back and install our shock. All right, so now we can get our shock in place. These are labeled at the bottom of the tube with an arrow pointing to the top. So we'll get our top in place. We're going to reuse our factory 15mm bolt. Get that on. Get our flag nut in place. Just want to get this started. Then we're going to grab the bolt for our bottom shock mount. We're also going to grab a pry bar because it is a little bit tough to compress these ones by hand. So what you can do here is hook your pry bar into the lower perch, line up your shock, compress it with the pry bar, and we're going to push it into place carefully. Now, as it's coming back, we're going to take our bolt, work this in, get that all the way through. Now we can install our factory 18mm nut. Then we'll grab our 15mm socket and 18mm wrench and tighten these down. We'll tighten our top one. Remember, this is a flag nut. We'll grab our 18mm wrench for our nut. And once you got this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now once you got your kit installed, you want to make sure to torque all of your hardware back down to the manufacturer recommended specifications, and also you definitely want to take your vehicle in for alignment after installing this kit. Alrighty, that about wraps up our review and install of our Rough Country Suspension 3-inch bolt-on upper control arm suspension lift kit with N3 struts and premium N3 shocks in red finish for your 14 to 24 wheel drive F-150 Super Cab, Super Crew, and excluding the Raptor. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.